How's it going, everybody? This is the Nitty Gritty. My name is Chad. With me is Leonard. This is a show about wrestling, and this is another edition of our Stupid Questions series where one of us asks the other question, and we have to answer without any preparation, whatever comes off the top of our head. It's a lot of fun, and the questions range from meaningless to maybe they have a lot of weight to them. But in any event, this time, Leonard will be asking me the question.
I have a preamble to my question. So recently, I joined a Facebook group called Southern Wrestling Autographs, and they buy and sell autographs through this site. The admins are dealers, and on Halloween, one of the admin dealers had a spin the wheel, make the deal thing where you would pay to get in. There was about 20 of us. I was about 18 or 19 in the random draw. You were assigned an envelope, and you could either keep that envelope or you could spin the wheel to get one of three other envelopes, or there was also a keep spot. So I decided to spin the wheel, and I won an autographed picture of Jordan Blue and an autographed picture of Naomi.
Nice.
So to give you an example, there was a few known things beforehand that they teased. Some were unknown. But I chose to spin the wheel. If I would have kept my envelope, I would have got something that was being coveted by a lot of people. It was a photo that was signed by AJ Styles, Bailey, Xavier Woods, and Tyler Breeze, all four of them. And Woods had doodled 2 up arrows and 2 down arrows for his show, up, down, down. And the reason I spun the wheel was because nobody had won envelope 2. And I figured that was due to come up, and there's probably something good in envelope 2. No one won it the whole time. At the end, they opened it, and it was a signed Cody Rhodes card.
Oh, wow.
So, and there was a Ric Flair autograph. There was a Dusty Rhodes autograph. There was a Funko Pop signed by Lex Luger. So a lot of cool stuff that was part of it. But my question to you with that preamble is, what would you want signed? So any item by what wrestler? Past or present, money is no object.
Well, off the top of my head, I'd probably, so most people would probably jump to a piece of memorabilia. One of the things that came to my head initially was like a belt signed by somebody, like it would be cool to have the Winged Eagle belt signed by Hogan. But upon thinking about it a little bit more, I like to have posters up in my house. And so it would be really cool to have, like, for instance, a WrestleMania 3 poster autographed by Andre and Hogan, in a perfect world. I think that would be a great piece to have in your house. And, it would certainly get attention regardless of whether or not you're a wrestling fan. So those are the two things that I thought of off the top of my head. I'm sure I could think of some really cool stuff if I, thought more about it. Like the list could be endless. Do you know what I mean? Like there's so many things that I
think you want to pick like one of your favorite wrestlers, and then something that maybe is meaningful to them, but at the same time, also I think something you can display. Because one thing I see is like boots and trunk. Right. Those are not necessarily easy to display.
You've watched that show, like on A&E, The Hidden Treasures.
Yes, I've seen clips from it.
Like a lot of these guys that have huge collections, like they'll have tights and stuff, and like I get it and I don't. I mean, if you collect something, you collect it. But like, why tights? Like, you're not gonna. I mean, unless you're wearing them, like, which I was weird. I don't know. Like, to have tights and just to have them, like, I don't know. Like, if I was gonna display something of Hogan's, it wouldn't be his tights. Like, maybe a shirt, but he rips all his shirts. So I don't know. Like
Hogan shirt. Well, and another thing that I've seen at shows is a Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah.
And here's a pet peeve of mine: a Money in the Bank briefcase or a belt signed by someone who never had it.
Yeah, I don't like that kind of stuff either. It doesn't.
That doesn't make sense to me. And this may be a pet peeve of mine too, but I've learned this about myself through this Facebook group because when pictures come up, like just today, there was a picture. It was Dynamite Kid and Davey Boy Smith together, but it was only signed by Dynamite Kid.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't want that because I
Right.
would want either. If it was Dynamite himself, cool, but it's not signed by both of them, and I can't get it signed by Davey Boy. So
right. You gotta have the paw print from Matilda as well.
yes. So that I found that is something that I've seen that I could have gotten, I just didn't. That is cool. Is Hacksaw Jim Duggan has 2x4s. He gets actual 2x4s, and he cuts them, I think, in the thirds, and then he signs them.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
And here's probably the coolest thing that I have is I think I told you about. So it's Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh yeah.
And he's got Hulk Hogan and Cobra Commander in a headlock. And not only is it signed by Slaughter, but you can see here in the corner, it's signed by the original artist.
That's really cool.
His little watermark, and then that's where he signed it. So good friend of the show, Dan Weber, and I were at the Steel City Toy Con in Monroeville. And of course, we get in with our friend Ron, who's a vendor. And so we're there first thing. We're the first people in the door. And we found this artist who had these, and we bought one each and went to Slaughter, who's there, to sign them. And he said, "Where'd you get these?" And I said, "That guy right over there." So he sent the guy he was with over to buy every one of these that he had. And then we talked to the artist later, and he said, "Yeah, Slaughter bought them all, and then he got my card, and he's gonna like buy these from me exclusively and take them with him and sign them." And I saw Slaughter a year ago at the Akron Comic-Con, and he had these. And I was going to ask him about them. I thought to ask him about them, but then I was like, nah, he probably doesn't remember.
I don't blame him for doing that though. That's a good gig. Hey, I mean, if he's going to keep buying them.
Yeah. Being the guys who pointed him in that direction. But that's probably the coolest thing I own. But yeah, I would love to get, like, that's one thing why I'm on this autograph site. Like flares come up, and I would love to get a flare. And they go for about $60 to $75.
Yeah.
Undertakers go for over $100. Hogan's usually go for over $100. Things like that. So, but I agree with you. I would like a poster or a really nice 8x10 or something I can display.
Yeah, because you see, like some of the people that have like a lot of figures autographed and stuff like that, stuff that takes up space. For example, like I would love to be able to tell you that I have a room where I can display all my stuff. I'm in the bowels of my house right now, and that's where my stuff is. So, like, the likelihood of me being able to display a room full of wrestling memorabilia is just not going to happen with 3 kids and a wife. So, that's why I say a poster I can get away with and is not going to be an issue. And maybe like something like one belt would be cool too. Yeah. But yeah.
8x10, something you can frame, something that's easily hung, because some people just like to have this stuff to have it.
Right.
But I think at the same time, you also want to show it. You want you want it out. So something like a picture, a poster, it like that, I think would be easier to do. So and again, people I would want, again, I've been looking for a Flair, I've been looking for a Dusty Rhodes. A Ricky Steamboat would be great. A Randy Savage would be great. Savage. They had the other day. They had a Randy Savage. It was a Slim Jim promo thing. I forget exactly what, but it was like some sort of promotional Slim Jim item signed by Randy Savage, and it went for, I think it was $350.
Wow, that's pretty cool though.
Yeah. So there's a lot of cool things on there, but. I see stuff on there all the time. I always check out what's on there, but where's my question was derived from, was seeing that and then thinking, how can I work this into the show?
All right. Well, let us know what memorabilia you would like to own or have signed. Talk to us in the comments. Check out our other episodes, our full-length episodes, our random match reviews, segment surgery. Check us out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. For Leonard, my name is Chad, and we will see you next time.